Hey everyone, Cap here. We're out in the garage today for our July 2025 model railroad video. I think I've said previously on camera that as much as I dislike having a helix on my railroad, I like what the helix allows me to do. It allows me to cram probably nearly twice the railroad into the room that I would otherwise be able to have. Having said that, a helix takes up a lot of floor space. It eats up a lot of lumber and a lot of track, and it creates a very long off-stage run that your visiting engineer maybe can't see his train. Having said that, it's time for me to cram a second helix into the basement. So I'm going to handle this kind of like I do one of my kitchen tutorials, where we're going to take a look first at the necessary equipment, the materials, and then I'm going to show you how I lay out these curves on a piece of plywood and cut out the track board. Well, first thing, we're going to use power tools, so we need hearing protection. Hearing damage is cumulative and permanent, and hey, you want to be able to hear stuff, not just for fun, but the next thing we're probably going to need here so we can secure our plywood to the two sawhorses that we need is a couple of clamps. We need a pencil, and we need this. Cap, what the hell is that? Well, this is a trammel. It's a board, no kidding, but as you can see, there's a screw through it, and at regular intervals, I have marked various distances. You theoretically could do this with a yardstick, but you're always going to lose some of the length of the yardstick to where you end up putting the screw. So I just use a 48-inch by maybe 2.5-inch piece of plywood. It's nice and stable, and I always know exactly how large my curve is. Finally, we need the jigsaw. We're going to struggle to get through this because these batteries are from before I built the house, and the last of them have finally crapped out. They'll no longer take a charge, and DeWalt doesn't make these 18-volt batteries anymore. So I'm going to have to go buy the adapter, not just for my circular saw, but for the saber saw as well. So let me reposition the camera and we'll get started. All right, everybody. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to use a 24-inch and about a 26-inch radius curve here on this section of helix. So we're going to take the trammel. I'm going to squeeze the tip of the screw down into the plywood surface, and I'm simply going to go ahead and take my pencil and trace an arc. Back and forth. And what we're going to end up doing is taking our saw, we're going to put the outer edge of the shoe that the saw glides on the line, and we're going to cut on the inside of that. So when we're ready to do that, I'll bring you back. All right, as you can see, I've got sections of track curve, both for the inner and outer track, drawn out. And then now all I have to do, like I said, this is the shoe. So we're going to put the inner edge of the shoe where the line is. And this will give us the track center line and enough room for rotobed. So I'm going to stop talking now, and we'll get this done so that I can turn the sound down so that I don't blow out your speakers. Alright everybody, we're back down here in the basement this evening. Sadly, as predicted, the batteries, the 18 volt DeWalt batteries did, after nearly 20 years of service, finally give their last milliamp or whatever. However, the job is done, at least for that piece of plywood. So what I've got enough plywood cut here that I can have more than one turn back. And as I had said, God, I really don't want to take up this much floor space with another helix. But to have the railroad I want, I'm gonna have to do that. The next thing you can see over here, that the next thing I've also started is the combination of the end or the rest of west staging and what I think of as a storage yard, not necessarily a fiddle yard. Many of us have equipment that isn't necessarily going to be run on our model railroad every operating session. But we want to put it someplace where we're not going to have to put our hands on it and bust up detail, putting it in and out of boxes or drawers, whatever. And so I'll have some tracks over here on this lower level, the same level as the previous west staging that I showed you guys in, I think, the first or second video. And the first couple of tracks will be actual staging. Then further towards the back corner, I'll go ahead and I'll have storage tracks for maintenance of way equipment, for the, let's face it, slightly, more than slightly anachronistic train load of military equipment that it represents most of, well, all the armored vehicles and some of the wheeled vehicles of the Army unit that I was in during Desert Shield and Desert Storm, and some other stuff that I'm still slowly working on accumulating. Once we have that done, then it's the final, the division point yard can go up above that. And right behind me here is where this, again, God, I don't want another helix is gonna go. So if you are enjoying the content, if you're, well, hold on, there's one more thing. The more I screw around trying to do scenery in this corner here, where those bridges are with the insulation board, the more I come to really despise that pink insulation board. I don't know how you guys that use it exclusively can stand to do it. I just don't understand. There's something I don't get. But I think this back corner is going to probably end up being the only place I use it. I don't know. So again, if you guys enjoy the videos, if you, even if you're just sitting there laughing at me, whatever, don't care. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell, and we'll see you every Wednesday for regularly scheduled videos, or on a Monday or a Friday as weird stuff pops into my obviously still empty head. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.